In this video, I showed you guys how to make a song like Zendaya and Labrinth from Euhporia. And today, I'm going to walk through the final production steps and how I took that song from demo to release quality. Jacob Dewitty, jacobdewitty.com here, an artist and producer, and I'm here to take your songs from idea to reality. So first, we want to think about the overall arrangement. So we added some markers. We've got intro, verse, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge, final chorus. Pretty standard pop structure. Labrinth is a pop and EDM producer. And then we got to think about the chords. The verse and chorus have different chords, and then the bridge is completely different. So that's the structure in terms of chords, and then we got to think about the structure in terms of instruments, because that's where everything's going to come into play. So we've got piano. We've got some organ. Then after that, we've got some plucks, some arps. Get that EDM feel like Labrinth. Then we got some plucks. And then they go way in the background in the verse because we want the verse to be down. So just in the verse, we have lots of plucks. We don't want all that as much ambience. We want it to be a little bit thinner.
I had to go.
Versus in the chorus, we have stuff like the organ. We have these nice little ambient arps. We've got the main plucks, organ. So basically, it's bigger, wider, right? But the verse just plucks and vocals. And then, of course, drums and 808. So we'll start with the intro. We just got harmonies in the simple. Build it up a bit. Then verse, and chill out.
Tired of not winning.
Nice and groovy.
I had to go. Tired of living.
In the chorus, big. We dropped out some of the instruments here so it could build even more. Back down to the verse. Big chorus. Need a different bridge. Then huge final chorus. That's basically the blueprint. So now we figure out how do we actually do all that. So we've got the piano. Kind of change here. Instead of chords, it's literally just that bass note. And then of course we gotta think about the vocal arrangement as well. So we have 12 layers of vocals here, and even more down here. Okay, so we have a lot of vocals basically, and Labrinth uses a lot of vocals. He loves vocal production. He loves using vox. Labrinth loves using vocal production and just all these kind of stuff. You can really use the voice as an instrument. So let's look through all the ways that we can arrange this. So we've got the main lead, of course.
Oh, tired of living. It was hard to grow.
Another layer.
Ooh.
So we got harmonies, harmonies, more harmonies, more harmonies, and then we completely change up. We make it more plucky in the verse, just like all the instruments.
Tired of not winning. I had to go.
A nice little tell him. That's signature to Labrinth. So don't tell him I stole that. But then after this, we've got, so we use those tell-ems, not always, not in the chorus, because we want the verse to be plucky, and then we want the chorus to be more harmonies. And then same with the chorus, we've got the left and right and the extra layer. That just makes it even thicker. So think about this, hear this.
Tired of not winning.
Versus this. So that's the arrangement trick. So we'll go ahead and move on. So because this is producing, we've got the idea down, we've got it recorded, we've got it pretty much arranged. Now we need to figure out the weak points and how we can improve those. So in the song before, the vocals were definitely the weakest point. I'd say the instruments are pretty strong, the chords are pretty strong, I like the arrangement, but the vocals were kind of lacking. So if we just listen to the lead, how it was before.
Body, I went on my own.
So we'll just take a look at the vocals. We have so many vocal layers here that it can go wrong really, really fast. So the first step we want to do is think about pitch. Okay, pitch is the main point of vocals. So how are we going to fix the pitch? So first, the obvious way to fix it is auto-tune. But auto-tune doesn't do as much as people think it does. It's not magic. It's not going to automatically, if you're singing a C, it's not going to automatically pitch up to an A, right? So auto-tune is going to do a little bit. It's going to help the vocals, but that's not all you have to do. So how can we make this a little bit more detailed and fix the pitch manually? A lot of people use Melodyne, and in FL Studio, it's called New Tone. All right, so basically it loads in the sample, and we can actually manually drag the notes. So you hear this.
My own.
We don't like that, right? So all we have to do,
Going on my own.
so we could center it. We could change the variation, make it more auto-tuney.
Going on my own.
Or we could.
Going on my own.
So you see, this is where the detailed stage comes in. This is where the detailed stage comes in. You really can zoom in on every single spot and manually change it. Make it sound as good as possible. So once we do that for most of these vocals, I really just do that for the lead. So make sure each layer actually sounds good. So now, obviously, the next step, since this was the weak point, a lot of it's probably going to be in the mixing neck. So because there are literally so many layers of vocals, we're going to have to make sure those are balanced. So we can put them in these. So as you can tell, we got those telems right here. Basically, all we want to do, we want to go through, make sure the compression is good, make sure the EQ is good, delay, reverb, de-esser, saturation knob. And I go into more detail on how to do this in this video right here on vocals. So you can check that out. But that's basically the gist of it. And so, of course, same thing, we want to do gain staging. So that basically means we just got to balance all these volumes out, bring them down, bring them up until they're balanced. All right, step number 3 is going to be the core mix and gain staging. So basically, the core mix is EQ and compression. We'll do gain staging first to set the volume. So this is pretty huge. We're going to figure out exactly what we want to be the loudest, and because we have so many layers, that's going to be super important. So like I said, when we did the weak stuff, we focused on the vocals, but now we've got to go back to instruments.
Tired of not winning, I had to go.
So first thing, we got to make sure that 808 is sidechained to the kick. Basically sidechaining, make sure that the 808 and the kick aren't hitting at the exact same time so you can hear both clearly.
Tired of not winning, I had to go.
This is without sidechaining.
Tired of not winning, I had to go. Tired of living, it was hard to grow.
So you can add more, they can really hear it.
I'm on top of the sun.
So that's the effect, but you won't do it that much, obviously.
Plan, rethinking my life.
So that's that. Then, so we've got that. We've taken care of the drum bus. You got the compression and EQ, of course. We already did the gain staging. Next, we do the hi-hat. We like the little effects, animatic.
Tired of not winning, I had to go. Tired of living, it
Snares.
was hard to grow. But it's over, I've won.
808.
I'm on top of the sun.
Piano, we spread that to the left a little bit because we do have so many instruments. That's one thing I like to do. So you have, because I have so many plucks, I can pan one left, one right. I can pan some ambience right, the organ, and some other ambience to the left. And basically I balance it out. So you can tell I got piano and that Rhodes praise like synth left and right. Same with this and this, left and right. So my method is just to go through all of these tracks and really solidify every single one. And then by now we have the core mix done and the volume balanced. The next step is going to be the cool effects and the sweetening stage. So this is where we get to be really creative in the production process. So what kind of effects do we want to add to these vocals and harmonies and basically the song overall? So a nice little effect, I think it was kind of empty right here. I kind of wanted something extra to be added. So I took some of the chorus vocals and I just added it here because we do want to introduce that hook. Same with YouTube videos, you know, in the first 30 seconds, you can lose people very fast. So we want to introduce that hook as soon as possible. And basically how I did that was I added a crap ton of background, reverb, delay, blah, blah, blah. So it doesn't sound like the lead, but it's a really cool effect. So this little section right here it's basically what it is. It's like a trailer for a movie. So you can tell we got the telems in there. We've got effects. We've got the harmonies. We've got a background kind of affected lead. We've got the drums. You've got almost everything in the song, a lot of different elements. But then in the actual song itself, we're separating that into the verse and the chorus of the verse. But basically you want to hook the listener's attention as fast as possible. That's the intro. Now we move on to the verse. What effects do we want to add in the verse?
Tired of not winning, I had to go. Tired of living, it was hard.
So what we really liked in this one, we wanted lots of rhythm. So basically that's a key part of Labrinth, just all the rhythms and stuff like that layered on top of each other. So to keep that strong pluck, that strong 8th note pulse, we've got the
Tired of not winning.
all these. Like that's 4 different layers. Then we've got the triplets on top. And of course we wanted that in a little bit in the background, so that triplet isn't dominating, but it's like, oh, that's cool. And of course the drums, simple, right along with the bucks. Then 808. Still gotta have that piano in there, playing a nice little. Very simple, very simple. And of course the lead, and all these tones, all the same pluck pattern. Nice little arrangement trick there. Boom. So that's the verse. We like those little effects. Then of course, another effect I added was risers and sound effects. So it's not something you super notice, but it really builds. You could build into the verse, build out of the chorus, stuff like that. Then finally, we got to get to the master. The mastering is where we take it from mix to actually being releasable. This is where we take it from mix to actually being releasable. Make sure that's a really good mix. Boom, we check it. All right, next we add some effects. So we've got some EQ. First, we check the tonal balance.
Tired of not winning, but it's over, I've won. I'm on top of the sun.
As you can see, the lower end is way up here. High end is way down here. So what do we do? EQ. What do we do? EQ. So we go right here. Boom, boom. We boost the high end. Yeah, not too crazy. Just a little bit. Then, of course, we've got compression. We've got to make sure the track is even so we could bring that volume up to where it needs to be.
But it's over, I've won. I'm on top.
-22 threshold, 2-to-1 ratio, not too high. This is mastering, some makeup gain. Then we want to check loudness. Actually first we're gonna add some saturation. Just basically adds more to the frequency range. Basically just makes it sound better. Really cool. So we add some saturation. Add some thickness to the whole track. No, stop. Alright. We added some thickness to the vocal, to the so not too much, just a little bit of saturation. Make it thicker. Boom. Now we check the loudness, and we've got to compare that to a reference track right here. Boom, boom, boom. Boolean loudness meter. We're actually going to aim for 10 because it's pop. So basically I learned recently, Spotify masters to -14 LUFS, but most pop music actually tries to hit up to 10. So sure, it's going to compress it a little bit, but it's still going to be louder than most. And people like louder music. But of course, you have to sacrifice some dynamic range because you do have to compress it a little bit to make it get that loud. So of course, it matters on the genre. If you're doing pop, you're probably going to aim for higher LUFS. But if you're doing other genres, you don't want to sacrifice that dynamic range, you probably go a little lower. But this is pop, this is Labrinth, so we are going to do -10. This is pop, this is Labrinth, so we're going to aim for a little bit higher than -14 at least. Boom, boom, boom.